How's it going, everyone? It's Cloudy Wells here. Today, I just kind of want to talk about how I stay productive while playing video games, the different things that I do in order to make sure that I'm staying on track for my goals every single day. Also, how I use kind of habit coupling, I guess is what you could call it, to make sure that I make time for the things that I enjoy, like playing video games, but also I make time for the things that I want to achieve, like my goals. So the structure that I use is that it all starts from having goals set for my real life, whether that's like workout exercise goals, if it's goals with like my relationships, my friendships and stuff like that. And I also have goals in game. So for instance, I have the goal of posting 10 videos on my channel in December. So a lot of the like habits that I will go over here in a second will feed into that. And that's kind of how I plan the path that I'm going to take in order to accomplish that goal. So my number one suggestion is, again, making those goals, because that's what gives you a direction. It allows you to work backwards from the goal, so that way you can work out the path that you need to take in order to accomplish that goal. And without any goals, there's no path to go down. You have no direction, no aim. It's really hard to get started on achieving something if you don't know what the end result is. And it's a lot easier to work backwards. If you can have the ideal end result in your head, you can look back and see, like, what steps do I need to take in order to get myself to the end goal or completing this goal that I have, right? So I do a couple of things every day, some habits. And what I do with those habits is they all are broken down pieces of my goals that I can do every single day. I make them so small and easy to complete and repeatable that it's almost impossible to skip them. And those small mini habits are what I use to work towards my bigger goals, right? So what I do is I use like a habit tracking app, or I use like a physical journal. I have both. I do use both, but right now I use mostly the one on my phone called Habit. And what I do is, for instance, my goal to make 10 videos in December, I break that bigger goal down into the smallest chunk possible in order to make progress on it every single day. So, for instance, I I get inspired to create my own content when I read. So I have a daily habit goal of reading one page. I also like to write, because writing is kind of what gives me the fuel for the content. So that's also another daily habit that I have. So I make sure that I write something to always make sure that I'm working towards my goals. And I break it down so small, like literally one page, or one sentence of writing, and I plug that into the Habit app and I track it, and I make sure that I get that done every single day. I also do some of my other habits. I break those down. I put those inside of that habit tracking app. So, for instance, I like to meditate every day. I think that right now there's a huge emphasis in the world for efficiency and speed, and oftentimes it leads to burnout, and a lot of the times it also leads to people not actually understanding how they feel in that current moment. And meditating just kind of helps slow everything down, kind of brings you back to center, and you can kind of check in with yourself, see where you're at. And a lot of the times when I meditate, I end up coming out of it with really good ideas for the things I want to work towards. So I track my meditation in there. I track my exercise, like I lift weights on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I also train combat sports, so I put that in there to make sure I stay consistent on those. And then on my off days, I also make sure that I'm doing like mobility, and like stretching and different things like that. So it's all tracked inside that app. I can always just pop it open, check like the previous history, and I can see how consistent I've been with it and how far like back I've been tracking. It shows that like I've been doing this for a very long time, very consistently, and it helps me keep myself on track. So to kind of reiterate, we start with making a habit, we start with a goal, and we break that goal down into very small habits that we then track, and we put those inside of some sort of system that works for us, whether that's physical journaling or that's like a habit tracking app. The next thing that I do is that I always have some sort of to-do list or task list going every single day. And that task list, it just has a bunch of items that I need to get done for the day. And I also try to include a couple things on there for the following day. And I'll kind of go into that more in another video. That's another video idea that I have that I kind of want to talk about. I'm oftentimes ahead of things in my personal life, like my work. And it leads to a lot of reduction in stress and anxiety because I'm always one step ahead of the next day. And I'll kind of go into that in another video. But yeah, on that to-do list, I have items that I need to get done for the day and also the following day. It has things for like my work. It has things for my personal life, my channel, my in-game things. And it's just simple tasks on there, such as like, exercise, go to the gym today. Maybe I need to make phone calls for my job, and I put that on there. And then for the following day, let's say I have an early start. So on there, I pick out and set my closeout for the following day. So that way, when I wake up, I have a much smoother start to my day. Just things like that. And then what this allows you to do is basically systemize your day to where anytime you have some sort of downtime, you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and you know exactly how to do it. And the to-do list it's super generic and it sounds so simple, but it's honestly one of the most important things that I do in order to keep myself productive. And when I combine the habit tracking and also the to-do lists, it's very easy to figure out how my day is going to go, like what the projection for my day is going to be, and I can kind of plan accordingly. And what I do with all of these different lists and habits and habit trackers is I use the downtime while I'm playing video games to start working on those things. So, for instance, I have a group of friends that I like to play with pretty much every night. We play Overwatch usually as in like a 5-stack where there's 5 of us playing together, and we're not like ultra competitive. We do try to like win every time, but we are pretty casual. And while we're searching for a match, oftentimes I'll just hop on Discord and say, hey, I'll be right back, and I'll mute my mic and I'll go work on my habits or whatever tasks that I have to do in between matches. And it works for other games too. For Black Desert, I am sitting here doing processing and making a YouTube video, and that's working towards my goal of putting out 10 videos for the month. So that's the key for me in order to make video games kind of worth it. Because obviously video games are fun, and that's why a lot of us play video games. It's to have fun or to like hang out with friends, build relationships. But they do take up a lot of time that you could use to be doing other things that are probably more productive. But at the end of the day, if you couple the habit of playing video games with doing some things that are productive or some things that can get you ahead, you can very easily cut down your workload. Obviously, things happen in life and things sometimes spiral out of control. But if you're consistent enough and you stay on the path of making sure that you are working towards everything that you are trying to accomplish, you'll have a huge reduction in stress. You'll be less anxious throughout the day because you'll know what to expect. And it just makes things a lot easier. And so that's my suggestion. That's what I do, and it works really well for me, honestly. I used to be in the school of thought that if you wanted to get things done, you couldn't play video games, and I gave video games up for about a year, and I came back and I'm doing more work every day than I was before because I'm enjoying myself a lot more. I'm socializing, hanging out with my friends in game and in real life a lot more, and I'm always ahead. I never fall behind, and if I do, I can find ways to enjoy myself while still catching back up on my work. And that's why it's super important to have these to-do lists and these habits to make sure that you're moving forward every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.